This episode of Behind the Mindset is brought to you by Bosch Home Comfort.
Welcome all to the first podcast of 2025. Today is going to be Behind the Mindset with Ben Poole, founder of HVAC Tactical.
What's up, Efren? Thanks for taking time to sit down and do this. I know you think you're in control, but you are not.
Ben, I feel like I have my big boy pants on today, so I'm going to treat it as such. Today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about the 5th annual HVAC Tactical Awards. Among other things, our gracious sponsor, Bosch, today is going to be supporting this episode. So we can thank them for that. All right, so obviously it's a little late right now, but let's just say I'm a first-timer of this whole HVAC Tactical Awards. How would one go about getting a ticket to the 5th annual HVAC Tactical Awards? And then what should I expect as my first time to the award show?
Well, there are no tickets, so you would go about no way of getting a ticket for the award show as of right now. The show is sold out.
Okay.
So,
It's disappointing
not really.
for me. I want everybody to go.
Not really. You snooze, you lose, man.
Yeah.
So you should have got tickets when I told you to get tickets back in August.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. Atlanta, what was the seating? Sorry, not Atlanta. Chicago. What was the seating arrangement for Chicago? How many seats were available then, compared to us lifting the bar to a higher seat limit?
Chicago was 300 people.
Okay. This year, what are we looking at?
350 people.
There's a lot of heads.
Yeah, I think if we would have upped it to 400, we still would have sold out.
I would agree.
So there's already a waiting list, and I get emails every day, people asking me to get an extra ticket or whatever.
Okay. So let's say I did somehow scrap up a ticket for this coming award show. This is my first time to the award show. What should I expect as my first time?
Well, we're in the business of awesome, so you're going to expect an awesome time.
Very cool.
Expect to see and feel and experience something like you would see and feel and experience if you went to the Oscars or the Emmys, right? The difference being that you're with a bunch of regular dudes that do the same thing you do for a living.
Yeah.
And all these personalities that you see on social media, you're going to be meeting them and hanging out with them and having talks with them, and your mind's going to be blown.
Is there anyone in particular that still gives you the EBGBs that you see? Like for me, it's Mike Flynn, right? I'm still like, oh my goodness, like this guy's so cool. I don't know if that's the right word, but I still get butterflies.
When I meet people, I know these guys, but when I'm with them, it's definitely can feel intimidating. Ty Brannaman, Craig Migliaccio, Brett Wetzel, Chris Stevens, Brian Orr, all these guys who are going to be in attendance at the show. These guys are just crazy smart when it comes to the craft of HVAC and the science of HVAC. It's very intimidating for sure. If you think you know a lot, I tell you don't know anything.
That's very true. These are high caliber people that you just mentioned, and many more that you still haven't mentioned quite yet.
I think if you want to learn, these are the kind of people, like if you want to learn the science and really like the depth of the technical side of things in the refrigeration circuit and the cycle, these are guys that you want to hang out with. These are guys you want to ask questions to. But like I always say, you'd be surprised at what you can learn if you just shut your mouth and just listen. These are guys that it's okay to ask questions, but a lot of times, man, you just want to just be quiet and just listen what they have to say because they're constantly dropping knowledge.
Yeah. I think what's awesome to know from their perspective, from the conversations that I've had, is they love to talk shop. I can go on and on and on.
They're
talking.
HVAC nerds.
Yes,
yeah.
I can go on and on with Ty Brannaman in particular, Craig Migliaccio, even Brian Orr. I can talk all day long, and they would honor their time and respect my time as well and talk shop all day long with me, and which is nice. So anyone, if this is your first time and there's anyone in particular, 9 times out of 10, I'd say 9.5 out of 10, if that's even possible, you talk shop to anybody and they're going to love it. So also, Can we also squash the rumors pertaining to I need an invite to the show? How many times have you heard that?
This year, not so much. Chicago and Atlanta for sure. I think we've kind of squashed those rumors. I'm sure there's still some people out there who think that, but yeah, you don't need an invitation to come to this event. You just need a ticket. And as people are quickly learning that, you got to get tickets when they're available, because if you don't, they're going to be sold out. So.
And as a first-time comer to the show, what should be the general outline that I should expect from the show? How long does it take?
General outline is you're going to show up to the event. You're going to walk through registration. This year in Orlando, Florida, there's actually going to be security involved because of the park. So you have to come through metal detectors and make sure, no pocket knives and stuff like that, which is pretty standard for walking into any type of venue like that. This will actually be the first time that we've actually ever had security like this at an event. And it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with the venue. So it's just protocol for them for how they do things. But, SeaWorld is a pretty magical place when it comes to venues and events. I want to say, I'm trying to remember what event it was. I think it was the ESPY Awards. The very first ESPY Awards was hosted at this same location. So this is pretty exciting stuff.
So historic.
Yeah, and so you're going to basically get through registration. Once you get through registration, you get your lanyard and your badge. And then you're going to walk the red carpet. You're going to take some pictures. At the end of the red carpet, you're going to walk into cocktail hour. This is just a time for guys to just meet each other and talk shop and just build relationships. And there's going to be sponsors there and OEMs and companies. Like, these are great opportunities for you guys to get plugged in with them and talk shop, how to work with them, and maybe, get some type of endorsement deal or some type of social media deal, right? If you're heavy on social media. But even if you don't work those angles, at least you're still in a place where, like, hey man, you guys launched this product, and this is my feedback on the product, or this could have been way better. Whatever the case may be, right? These are opportunities for regular dudes like us in the trenches to actually have talks with people who are, making moves on the corporate end and on the tool end and on the parts and stuff like that. So, and then after that, we walk into dinner. We have dinner, and then about halfway through dinner, we start the award show. And then it'll take about an hour and 15 minutes to get through the awards. And then I'll jump up on stage and do a little song and dance. I'm just kidding. I'll do a closing farewell speech, and then we're done. Then everybody goes home. So
Cool. I was filling out my ticket information and pretty excited to order steak only. Also, I'm interested to know if part of the venue or part of the meals for that evening included shamu, if that was out on the table for this evening.
So dumb. First and foremost, nobody's eating shamu. Okay, I don't even think shamu's around anymore. And second of all, I don't even think we're having steak. I think it's chicken this year.
Chicken. So,
yeah.
What happened to steak only?
Well, nobody gave you that option. You wrote that in there on your own. They run certain things past me. When it comes to like dinners and colors of the linens, and I'm out. That's not what I do. So I let the team take care of that stuff. I have so many other things that I'm trying to take care of on the back end that I don't have time for all that.
So if you had to get a PSA to your people out here, steak only, if I was to request that, it's not going to get fulfilled.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. Good to know. Good to know. Also, pertaining to the 5th annual award show, what is the process like selecting nominees? How rigorous is it? What's the criteria around it? Can you pull the curtain back just a little bit for everyone watching right now?
For nominations?
Yes.
There's a nomination form on the website. It's currently down. Otherwise, people would still be dumping nominations thinking that it's going to make a difference. And,
yeah.
Nominees and winners have already been decided, so we're done for now. Nominations on the website will probably open up again I would say sometime in like maybe April or May, somewhere in that range. We're constantly changing things here and there just because we're trying to always fine tune the way that things are done. You know, a lot of people think they come to the show and they experience this thing, but and it seems like it's so polished and so dialed in. And to people outside of the circle, yes, it appears that way for sure. But on the inside of the circle or behind the curtain, right, we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to figure things out. Sometimes we just don't know, right? We have to experiment with something and see if it works or not. And if it doesn't, well, that didn't work. We won't do that again, right? So, yeah, we don't have all the answers. You know, we try to be as professional as possible. So on the outside, it looks like everything's just running smooth. But even in Chicago, you know, we had flare-ups in Chicago. Most people don't notice, but I'm freaking out on the back end, like yelling at the team, like, we got to get this fixed right now.
Yeah.
I'm not really yelling, but
I still have PTSD, just for everyone watching right now.
but yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, we just try to be as professional as possible. But yeah, nominees are already done. But there's a form that you fill out. You can nominate your friends, your colleagues, people that you just look up to on social media. But reality is, it's like you don't need to go find 13 of your favorite buddies or your house counter guys to go nominate you. You don't need that. It just takes one, right? It doesn't take 13 people to do that.
Yeah.
All that does is bombard us on the back end with sorting through all of these nominees, where it's like, oh, well, he's nominated again, right, for the 5th time in the last 3 minutes that came through. So it's clear that you asked a bunch of people to go nominate you,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, there's ways for us to see what's what and how it all comes down in the analytics and stuff like that. So, but then also there's, you know, the committee that we have, which is
Top secret.
to remain unnamed.
That's right.
There's a handful of us. I think there's 5, 6 of us.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I can't count.
So, and then we'll basically look at certain categories and we'll say, hey, this person wasn't nominated by anybody else, but they deserve to be in this category, right? So then we'll place them in there. And then also the committee looks at who's been nominated and we'll say, hey, look, these particular people have been nominated. Here's the top 3 that should go, and then this is going to be the winner for the group. So, and we don't always agree. The committee doesn't always agree on who should win and even who should be in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
So makes it very difficult because you would think it would be like, oh yeah, totally, they belong there. And sometimes that's the case. But man, it's been really, really hard this year to determine winners. And reality is this, is no matter who is the winner, somebody somewhere is going to think that somebody else should have won, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, it never gets any easier either. You know, there's only going to be more people exposed to the
100%.
movement.
yeah.
So, yeah. Obviously, you getting nominated helps more people get eyes on you, right? We can cross-check. We can see, you know, what is your work like, right? But secondly, overdoing it definitely doesn't help any either. So you need to have the work. You need to have the confidence behind it as well. But it's hard to nominate someone, or it's hard to know about someone if you're not nominated either.
For sure. Well, if you're not plugged into the community, it's hard to know about you too. If you're just some dude in Podunk, Kentucky, and you don't have a social media, and somebody nominates you, we're like, well, who is this guy? Nobody knows who you are, right?
Yeah.
So there's no way for us to verify who you are, where you're from, the work that you do, the category that you've been nominated. Like, there's just, you know, you got to be plugged into the community. Like, that's how this whole thing started, and that's what it's all about. This whole thing is geared to drive community, and if you're not involved in the community, then how can you expect anything? It'd be like you trying to win an Oscar or an Emmy.
And you film no films.
Yeah, nobody knows who you are. It's like, who's this guy, right? So
Yeah.
you can't expect, you know, greatness out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
But quite honestly, like, don't even focus on the awards. Like, just go out there and do what you do, and just be great at what you do. Strive to be your best, and if you do that and you put a little bit of juice on it on the back end through social media and take pictures and you're proud of your work, people are going to notice, you know.
So, any piece of advice for someone who wants to win an award? What's some 3-pointers that you'd give?
Become part of the community. Post your work, right, and be consistent.
There you go.
So, I'll give you a 4th one.
Give me a 4.
Continue to elevate yourself.
There you go.
So,
That's a good one. 6th annual award show.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. We had a joke that I was brewing and I couldn't figure it out, and my brain started to hurt thinking about how to film this or set this whole joke up. But something about Las Vegas, anything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and
Well, except for the live stream, that's going to go everywhere. So.
Yeah. Anyway, switching gears a little bit, let's do a rapid fire segment. You ready?
This episode of Behind the Mindset is brought to you by Bosch Home Comfort.
You don't look ready.
Dude, I was born ready.
Okay.
Can't shake me. I'm a pro. Come on.
Favorite color?
Green. Actually, let me back up. It's clear.
That makes no sense. Least favorite footwear?
Nike.
Press or braze?
Press.
Preferred music genre?
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one because I love so many different genres.
You're
I was
taking-
just asked yesterday what my favorite band was, and I can't tell you that because there's just too many good ones.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Iron Man.
Oh. Least favorite part of HVAC to you?
Ugh. Office work.
All right. Last question. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. That's pretty good. How do you feel you did? There's right and wrong answers to certain ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to break that down?
No, we'll just take it off camera and we'll fight about it later.
I'm sure that is an accurate statement. Okay, keep going.
So that's our rapid fire segment. Let's move over to tactical plans for 2025, where I guess, the last 10, 11 months of 2025. What are we looking as far as anything in particular that you do want to nail down, that people should be aware of, that people should know about? And if there isn't, tell them to kick rocks or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of things that I want to do, some of which I can't really talk about. We're looking at doing, I can tell you this is number one, is that we're looking to do another event later in the year. So it will not be award show related.
Okay.
But somehow, some way might connect to the award show, right? So think of it kind of like as a movie that's not part of a franchise, but it somehow connects into the franchise, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Right?
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So have you ever watched the movie was it called The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage?
Oh, man.
I think it was called The Rock.
Did this movie happen before I was born?
It's highly possible.
We start talking about
Anyways,
Sean Connery.
that I heard not that long ago that movie was it's theorized that movie is actually a James Bond spin-off where Sean Connery is actually James Bond still, but he's undercover as a prisoner in the prison.
What?
Yeah. So, something like that, right? So
Yeah.
it's, there's a lot of cool things that are happening on the back end of tactical that we're trying to figure out. And really what it boils down to is it takes time, it takes personnel, and it takes money to do all of this stuff, right?
For sure.
But everything that we do is for the community. So, shout out to all the sponsors that have helped put the show together, and the magazine and, just the social media stuff, like building the brand in general, right? And so while we want to, continue to work on those relationships with sponsors and advertisers and stuff like that, we also need to be mindful of, the things that we want to do. We got to be able to throttle that. And unfortunately, it just takes money to do that. So
Yeah, for sure.
to spin off of all that. So another thing that we want to try to do this year is we want to try to bring out the workwear line. So work
right.
pants, polos, work shirts. That's something. We have some meetings and stuff set up to try to get some of that stuff up and running. So I will say that the store, we get a lot of people hitting us up about the store, right? And like, hey, your shirts are out of stock, or your hoodies are out of stock, or your hats are out of stock. Reality is that we used to have everything in stock.
Yeah.
And the store was like, well, that's how it started, right? It started as an apparel line, and everything was like, that's what we did. We just sold merch. But as the award show really took off, the manpower and the focus has kind of shifted over to the award show because it's just this behemoth of a thing that it just takes to operate, right?
Yeah.
And so that has taken a lot of attention in the store. Just to be real honest about it, the store has kind of taken the hit, right? So where it just doesn't get the attention that it deserves. And so for 2025, we're really trying to remedy that and say, okay, look, we still need to focus on the show, but we also need to turn around and we need to put the focus back in the store because it's clear that's what people want. The emails and the nasty emails, people telling me they've been waiting for something for 6 months and it's still not there.
Yeah.
So we just need to update some stuff. But yeah, the store is definitely one of them.
That brings me back, or that reminds me, I guess. There's a Instagram page by the name of Dave's Auto Center. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
Shameless plug to them, I guess, but they're basically a repair shop out of Utah. And I think a while back, if anyone remembers, they had some pilot episodes being filmed by Discovery Channel. And I'm interested to know what your thoughts are as far as seeing if we can advance in the trenches, speaking of which we'll get to there here in a second, but getting in the trenches involved with possibly Discovery Channel or HVAC Tactical becoming a producer.
So interesting enough is that we have conversations like this on the back end quite often with somebody that I'm trying to pull onto the team full time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it takes money, right?
Yep.
So this is something that we in fact, just today we had this conversation, and it was about getting Netflix to pick up in the trenches, right? And it was like, how do we pull that off? And then them giving X amount of dollars per episode, right? And then that just affords the travel and the gear and the hotels and the food and like everything it takes to be able to put a production like that on. So a lot of people think you just show up and you just film some stuff, and you totally can, right?
Yeah.
But the goal here is to try to make the production level as professional as possible, because reality is like you're trying to keep up with a multi-billion-dollar industry, right?
Yeah.
And so, it's the not just the cameras and the gear, but it's the sound quality, it's the production on the back end, putting it all together, right? So, I mean, there's just so many moving parts for sure. And this is definitely something that we want to do, whether that's through Discovery or Netflix or something like that. Time will tell. But.
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting, some of the ideas that I've personally heard.
There's no shortage of ideas, right?
There's no shortage of ideas, that's for sure.
If the money was there,
Yeah.
if somebody gave us a blank check, we would already have all this stuff, right?
sure.
I'd just be hiring people to get all this stuff done.
Yeah.
And that means that I probably wouldn't be the face of In the Trenches. I'd probably hire somebody to go do that.
Yeah.
But, it just takes money. So, because everybody who comes to help and you're turning it into a full-time job, like they got to get paid, right? Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't go to work for free.
No.
So, they got to get
Although
paid.
we do have clients in the past that said, "Hey, can you just give me a discount?" And it's like, you expect my guys to charge me less for today's job?
Yeah.
We're gonna change out this air conditioner, and I'm gonna charge them $15 an hour as opposed to 20 or
Yeah.
whatever that going
hey
rate
guys,
was.
I can't afford to pay you what I normally pay you because this particular client doesn't want to pay what we normally get paid.
Yeah. It's just a one-off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your worker's gonna be like, kick rocks, dude. Yeah, and that's what you should tell the client.
Yeah. Any sort of details that I may have missed asking about this upcoming award show, as far as first-time comers, what should I expect? Anything new, anything different?
The awards are cool, but really the magic is with all the people. Like, it's just networking with people, meeting new people, seeing these people that you admire and respect, doing great work and being great at what they do.
Yeah.
And then you just, you build these friendships over social media, and you're meeting these people for the first time. Maybe you've already met them before, but you're just continuing this relationship. Like, that's what I look forward to the most. A lot of people don't realize, for me, like, the awards are cool, but it's like the secret is, for me, is like, this is just a big party that's a black tie event with all my friends, right? Yeah. And it's just cool. I enjoy it.
Can we back up for a quick second? I know you've harped on it, and everyone else has harped on it. But let's talk about black tie event. What does that mean? Can I come in a yellow suit, like a yellow Tux Jesse or whatever that guy is on Instagram?
You could if you wanted.
Can I come in shorts and t-shirt?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Because it's a black tie event.
I know why. but does everybody know why?
We established at our very first live event in Las Vegas that I wanted to make this a black tie event. And people asked me, you know, are we really having to wear tuxedos and ties? And I said, look, man, don't show up in shorts and a t-shirt, and I think you're going to be just fine, right? Some people showed up in jeans with a button-up shirt and a tie, with, you know, sneakers on, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with that. At least you made some type of an effort. And there's some blue-collar guys that just refuse to dress up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Brent.
Yeah, it's one of them, Eric Ani, Mechanical Hub, right? Like he doesn't wear a bow tie except for to the tactical awards, right? So it's a big deal, you know. And so we decided in Las Vegas that I said, look, I'm going to wear a tuxedo, right? And I just went out there and did it, you know. Yeah. And a lot of people showed up in tuxedos. A lot of people showed up in suits, you know, and some people didn't. My thing is like, outfits are always going to get creative, right? Yeah. So if you want to show up in a, you know, if you're a company or the colors of your company are a bright yellow, whatever, and you want to show up in a yellow tuxedo or a yellow suit, like, dude, do it, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have the attention of people for sure. You know, if the goal is to get people's attention in the room, it's going to work, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you're still showing up technically in black tie, right?
Yeah.
Black tie attire. But you've just put your own spin on it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you look at the Oscars and the Emmys and, you know, all these people, crazy outfits, right? But they're still dressed up. Yeah. So, and that's really what we're shooting for. So this is just a night, man, for blue collar to go black tie and just really just dress up and just have a great time and just have a night that's about us. You know what I mean? Celebrating each other. So for more info about the award show, HVACtactical.com. Check out all the merch. Check out all the gear. We'll see you guys in Orlando at SeaWorld on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th, 2025. We'll see you guys soon.